My name is Tine Buffel and I work at the University of Manchester in the Sociology department, and I lead a group called the Manchester Urban Ageing Research Group. The purpose of the group is to advance knowledge about two of the most important global trends: urbanization on the one hand and population aging on the other. My first degree was in community development work, and as a student I was involved in a couple of projects with first-generation migrants, mainly people in their 60s and 70s who had migrated in the 60s to Brussels and had settled in the cities. And most of these people were living in some of the most deprived neighborhoods of Brussels. And this is where my interest and commitment to not just understanding how places and environments shape the experience of aging started, but also my commitment to changing some of the conditions that can improve the experience of aging. Manchester really established itself as a world leader in terms of developing strategic policy responses to creating age-friendly cities. For example, Manchester was the first city in the UK, but also one of the first cities worldwide to be admitted to the WHO global network of age-friendly cities and communities. What is unique about MUARG is that we bring together scholars from different disciplinary backgrounds, and we also work in partnership with local and regional authorities, community and voluntary organizations, older people groups, to together research, but also develop and co-create age-friendly environments that are supportive of the needs and preferences of people as they grow older. So co-production in research is important for three reasons. Firstly, it recognizes and it validates the knowledge, the skills and the experience of older people and communities in developing research and policy. Secondly, it also provides opportunities to amplify the voices of traditionally more marginalized groups and ensure that their voices get heard and that they can speak up against discrimination and oppression. And thirdly, it also provides opportunities to create partnerships and bring together older people, community organizations, service providers to collectively find solutions for some of the issues that matter the most to people in local neighborhoods. For example, one project is an example of whereby we trained older people to become co-researchers in their own communities. One of the local bus services was cut because of public funding pressures a year prior to the research. This was a huge problem because it really excluded them from participating in their local environment. The local bus really became the symbol of the project, and co-researchers decided to campaign for the local bus to be brought back. And eventually, after a year of campaigning, the co-researchers, in collaboration with the community organizations and the local authorities, did actually manage to get the bus back in the neighborhood. Cities are often viewed as the key drivers of economic success, innovation, creativity, but our research really shows that much more can be done and needs to be done to ensure that cities are also inclusive and welcome to people of different age groups. It is really important to value and support the role of voluntary and community organizations because they are absolutely critical in providing support to older people. There's also a need for supporting and investing in the social infrastructure in cities, the facilities, the shared spaces, the community organizations that create opportunities for people to maintain social connections or develop a sense of community. There's also a need to get the voices of older people heard in urban development and urban policy. And here I think it's especially important to think about the voices that have often remained at the margins of age-friendly debates. Older people with disabilities, for example, people with long-term health conditions, minoritized groups, or older people living in low-income neighborhoods. I'm really excited about the future of MUARG. We have many new projects in the pipeline, from projects that are focused on amplifying the voices of minoritized groups of older people, such as older refugees, to other projects that focus more on the housing conditions and the living conditions of people aging in place in low-income or gentrifying neighborhoods. We also look forward to continuing the work that has a more international and comparative focus on aging in place, and this will build upon our strong connections with different research centres overseas. My ambition with MUARG is to develop our research group into a research centre and to apply for Research Council funding, which would allow us to expand our agenda on urban ageing, but also to consolidate our role in creating a research culture that facilitates groundbreaking, interdisciplinary, and especially collaborative research into urban ageing.